Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network. GABNET's creator and founder, Alex Bennett, is always looking for ways to stay on the cutting edge. He first revolutionized commercial radio. He built a career on being one of the first to speak to the new generation of the 60s. Then he reinvented himself on morning drive radio, where he was the first to use a live studio audience and guest comedians each morning. Another ratings winner. Next, Alex took off for outer space as he brought his unique perspective on politics and news to the satellites. Always a pioneer, his next stop was to create a unique format that no one else had ever done, with citizen panels on the internet. What's next? Is there any place left to innovate? Are there any stones left unturned? Introducing GABNET Live on Roku. That's right, GABNET Live on Roku. No lies, because you can't lie on the internet. GABNET is now available on your TV. You can listen to GABNET's 24/7 network stream, or browse your favorite GABNET shows from the archives, just like on GABNET.net. But that's not all. You can also watch video of Alex's archived live stream TV programs, as well as his televised Friday Night Ramble. It's all there for you, and all you have to do is turn on your Roku device, search the Roku store for GABNET Live, and add the channel to your lineup. Then sit back and enjoy. It's GABNET Live on Roku. Thanks, Alex.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of The Ramble, heard here and seen here on GABNET, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GABNET laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett /live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
Reasons why you tune into GABNET. Here's reason number 9. Great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, no more than 2 weeks working apart, I think.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GABNET. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to gabnet.net for more. GABNET. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Okay, everybody, how are you? I'm Alex Bennett, and this is The Ramble. We go until midnight Eastern Time, 2 hours of fun and enjoyment. We start off the first half hour, usually either me blabbing or blabbing with somebody. And then about 25 minutes into the show, we then turn it over to the Citizens Panel, which is not one, but as many as up to 8, 9, 10 other people all talking at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but on the same line. Okay? It's not just one of those talk shows where the talk show host talks to one person at a time. Anyway, got a guest tonight, and I think we should get to that right now.
Okay, so we just like to call this person. As you know, we do this every time. We call our good friend Stephen Pearl, because whenever he picks up in some kind of weird way, and we like to catch that. So let's see what happens here. There we go. Mm-hmm. And then that's the actual ring.
Cousin Brucey on the Cousin Bruce Show, 77 WABC. You know why you kids like using the term acid rock? I prefer the term progressive rock. On the Cousin Bruce Show, 77 WABC. Here's the box tops. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Steve?
I just thought I'd throw in a little blast from the past there, the old-time radio days.
Wouldn't you believe it, but when I was at Sirius XM, they hired Cousin Brucey.
We wheel him out of the morgue. He's still around, huh?
He's still around, and he has a hairpiece that's older than he is. It's amazing.
Oh, my God, it's bigger than Steve Allen's, I hear.
You know,
he's in danger of his head being crushed.
I got to tell you something about Cousin Brucey. I mean, I know Brucey. He's a nice enough guy. I can't, you know.
He seems like a genial, jovial fellow.
Well, you can't fault him, but if you're around him, all he ever does is talk about himself. Okay.
Like being around the president.
And I mean, I don't mean this in any disparaging way, except he just likes talking about himself, which I got to tell you.
He's had quite a colorful life. Why shouldn't he tell everyone about it?
Well, you know, he's always been the second-run guy in that he there were other guys on other stations like, I think Dan Ingram over at WMCA, who were bigger, honcho, I guess. Who were bigger and better known than he was, or Murray the K, who was bigger and better known than he was. But he was he was a self-promoter, very heavy self-promoter, and secondly, he just outlasted them. He just managed to live and still broadcast longer than any of them. So then he's known. Do you know they have a street named after him in New York City? You know how they sometimes make an...
Oh, really?
They take something like, I think it's like, I don't know, it's like 53rd Avenue or some 53rd Street. And for a block, they made it Cousin Brucey Way.
Oh, Lord. It's an avenue nobody's really using. Yeah, give it to Cousin Brucey.
Yeah.
So, look at me. I got my own block. I'm really cool. You have your own block. I have my own block. Cousin Brucey.
So he was also kind of an also-ran to all these other people who were far more famous than he was, but he outlived them, and he stayed on the air longer than they did. So now, of course, it's like, Sirius goes, Cousin Brucey, we've got to get Cousin Brucey. Well, my question is, why? But
because he lives.
So now here's the best part of Cousin Brucey. Does anybody know who we're talking about? Because outside of New York City,
man, everyone our age is dead now. So
well, wait a minute. If you're listening to this show and you're in Wisconsin, you're my friend Patrick Blazik. He probably doesn't know who Cousin Brucey was. Because Cousin Brucey was literally a local star. I don't think he ever went syndicated, nothing like that. Anyway. So he comes to Sirius, and they give him the studio to use, which other people use as well, right? The trucking channel used it. It was really the studio for the trucking channel. He comes in, and his wife redecorates it, right? With all this,
an early Cousin Brucey.
With all this Cousin Brucey memorabilia, not the least of which is because we had Florida ceiling windows in each of these studios. She put pictures of Cousin Brucey in the window, just, covering the windows, like 20 or 30, big, giant, put on cardboard backing or styrofoam backing pictures of Cousin Brucey throughout his career. And what you don't do is put up pictures of yourself where in one picture that's really old, you're losing your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
And then later on, as you're older, you have a full head of hair. You just don't do that, you know?
It worked for Carl Perkins.
Yeah, it worked for Carl.
Oh, Lord, he sounds like Ted Baxter, my God.
and so here are all these pictures of Cousin Brucey, and there's one with him. He's young. He's with the Beatles. He's got hair, but it's receding. Yeah. Okay, and then there's another picture of him later on, and he's got this like fucking pompadour. You know?
Yeah.
I'm going
with the old price tag, $4.99 sticking out.
In other words, again, I say he's a nice guy. I don't want people to say Alex was dissing you. I'm actually kidding the persona that is Cousin Brucey.
That's right. That's right.
Although as I say, he can't stop talking about himself. He.
I got to meet him someday.
We see. I can't say he's not a nice guy because the only times that I've had any interaction with him, he's been very nice to me. Okay.
Yeah.
He may be a prick to other people. I don't know, but to me, he was nice. So I have to say, he was nice. But in the discussion that I had with him, which was at a party, all of it was about Cousin Brucey and who he met. You know,
I outlasted that son of a bitch, Alan Green. What a drug. Ooh.
Yeah. But there were other people that were more famous than he, in New York City, which was like Murray the K, who I knew because I worked with him in his last job at WMCA. In fact,
the fifth Beatle. Well, now he's the third Beatle in heaven, but that's another.
Well, here's what happened. One night I'm driving to work, going down I always came down the West Side Highway, and I'm coming down to work, and I turn on WMCA because it's Saturday night, and I had a Saturday night show that I did, which was replaced. What's his name? He was my mentor, and now I can't remember names. God, anyway.
Marconi. I don't know. Taking a while.
The guy did interview shows on WMCA. Oh boy,
Barry Gray.
Barry Gray.
Tex Antoine.
I did the Barry Gray show on Saturday nights, and I was kind of his protege. So it's funny I didn't mention his name or remember his name. But then again, I took a Xanax last night, and it wipes out any kind of total recall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had to go to sleep, okay? And I couldn't get to sleep last night. Anyway, so where were we? Oh, yeah, Barry Gray. So I'm going down to do Barry Gray's show. And I turned on the radio just to see what's happening on WMCA. And it's just wall-to-wall music. Now, in those days, a station like WMCA, there was no such thing as wall-to-wall music. It was music, 3 commercials, another song, 3 commercials, another song, 3 commercials, another song. It's not like, we're going to play 10 in a row. Well, it was just one song after another. And what the fuck is happening? Is this a new format? What is it? And it's supposed to be the Murray the K show, okay? Because he worked like one day a week at that time, and it was at WMCA. So I pull up to the station, and there's an ambulance in front of the station. And as I walk in, they're wheeling Murray the K out on a gurney.
Oh, no.
He didn't have a heart attack or anything. Apparently, he took an upper when he should have taken a downer, and he went sideways.
Taking was going a little fast.
But they're hauling him out in an ambulance. And I went up, and they said, we've got to get somebody on the air. I said, well, I'll go in and I'll finish his show for him. So I went on and I finished his show. I was there the last night that Murray the K was ever on in New York City. That was it. He was through. And he went to Washington and worked at some station there. But that was his last night in New York City, and I replaced him. So man,
you got a lucky break because of his gas attack or whatever. It
wasn't a lucky break. I had a job anyway. I was just asked to jump in and do this thing for him. And I went over and I did the Saturday night Barry Gray show, which was the Alex Bennett program on Saturday night.
There you go.
But I got to use Barry Gray's big studio with all the tables and the chairs, and I would bring in a whole bunch of people, and it was the same format that Barry would use the rest of the week. But that was my last memory of Murray the K. But I got to tell you, when I first walked into WMCA, the first day that I was there, I mean, they had a meeting of the staff, and I'm there with like some of the greats of New York City radio. I mean, there was Barry Gray was there, and Murray the K, and other people wouldn't know, like Dan Daniel, who was, in fact, Dan died recently. And I had met up with him again a few years ago at a party of a friend of mine. Dan Daniel was the first top 40 disc jockey. He was the first guy ever to do top 40. It was invented by Todd Storrs and Gordon McClendon, and he was working for Todd Storrs, and they started the format there, and he was the first top 40 disc jockey.
Wow. Damn.
Another guy who was very famous in New York, named is Frankie Crocker, was there.
Ah, of course, Frankie Crocker. Of course, I remember Frankie Crocker.
And Frankie Crocker and I and Dan Daniel had something in common. We all shared the same birthday.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, different years, but same birthday, December 18th.
Yeah.
So here,
that's pretty cool. Oh, September 18th?
Yeah, and there were some other guys there like Ed.
The day Jimi Hendrix died and the day my father put a bullet in his head. It's a memorable day. A memorable day.
Oh, did he die on December 18th?
Oh, I thought you said September 18th.
No, December 18th.
Okay. Rewind that. Erase.
Yeah, 2 days after Beethoven's birthday. And I think the same day as Steven Spielberg.
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, but I wish they'd said to Steven Spielberg, "Oh, you know you have the same birthday as Alex Bennett," but I never got that popular. So, anyway, but you know, it
can be part of this jockey trivia.
Now, to people who are listening, you don't know who any of these people are, but to any kid growing up in New York City, cumulatively, these guys were known as the good guys.
Oh yeah.
And that's
wasn't Frankie Crocker on WWRL, the black station, which is all the way to the right. It's like, all the way.
He left there.
Turning the dial till it barely turns anymore.
He went to WWRL. I think he got caught in a payola scandal or something. If I don't remember.
Well, didn't everybody? That was part of the biz.
Well, there was no such thing as payola until somebody decided there was such a thing as payola.
Exactly.
No, people for a long time have been, taking money for playing records. What? There's no law against taking money for playing records.
No.
All right?
No.
So one day they decided to make a big deal out of it, and they came up with the charge of commercial bribery. That was a law. And so that was considered commercial bribery, and that's really what they got them on. But, they were taking this money and going, everybody else is doing it, and I was just doing it like everybody else. I didn't take payola. I did take pussyola on a couple of occasions.
Because pussyolas are good. They can't get you on that.
Well, no. When I was living in Houston, Texas, and working at the radio station, every now and then a record promoter would come into town with a hooker. And then everybody, all the jocks in town would go over and fuck her. I'm not kidding you. And
hello, son. Say hello to Cinnamon Tempest. She's my cousin. I think you'd like some time alone with her.
Stormy Daniels. No, anyway, we...
no, a traveling rat. She'll give you something to remember about, boy.
To be decent and nice, I only did that once. And I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. But I got offered things like one guy offered me a refrigerator if I wanted it. Or do you want a new suit?
I take a refrigerator.
And I, at that point, outside of that one time of engaging in pussyola, I decided that I did not want to in any way take money or goods or pussy for playing any record. I said, if your record's good, I'll play it. And the thing was that when I was offered the suit and everything, or the refrigerator, it was for a song I had already been playing because I liked it. And I said, no, I don't want it. I played your song because it's good, But the thing was...
But it's got an ice maker.
Prior to the payola thing, there was no crime in that. There was no law. Everybody considered it was okay. And my question is, why shouldn't a radio station be paid money for playing records, because when they play the record, what happens to the record? It sells.
The record, yeah, exactly.
And so why do you buy commercials? So that you have toothpaste, and when you put a commercial on the air, it sells, and you pay for that commercial. Exactly. I think what the crime was is that any radio station or any disc jockey could, in fact, take money for playing records if he announced that on the air, that he was taking money. Oh. He was taking a fee for playing certain records on his program.
Wow, did anybody really do that? Hi, here's a new record, which I'm getting a piece of.
But I think record companies should have to pay for records being played.
Sure.
Because if they don't get played, you don't sell records. So, but anyway, but the statutes of limitations have run out on Pussyola. It was like,
that's long in the past.
25 at the time or something like that. But that was the only time I ever did it. I was offered it when I was in New York City. I never took it. I said, don't ever ask me if I want money for playing a record. I'll give you one pass on it.
Pussy. I'm honest.
Ask me again.
I
said, ask me again, and I'll go to the cops on it, because I didn't want to be tempted,
Yeah.
And but so like a guy like Frankie Crocker, I think, finally got caught on it, and he was program director of the station. And I think that was pretty much the end of his career. He had a short time on NBC TV doing Saturday Night Special or something like that as the host. But a great guy. I loved Frankie. I used to go on. I used to go on, I think, every night after him. And all these guys. I worked with some of the greats when I went to New York for the first time. And but I didn't know how great they were, because I was from San Francisco and I didn't know these guys. I'd heard of Murray McKay, but that was about it. But then I come into town, and everybody goes, "Oh, he had left the station just before I went to work for them." But they had a guy they called Dan Ingram, who was huge, just huge. Now, people listening to me are going, Dan Ingram? I never heard of Dan Ingram. Well, you never heard of any of these guys, because there wasn't syndication in those days. And usually they were just the king of their market. If you went outside their area code, nobody knew who the fuck they were.
Sure. Dan Ingram did a lot of voiceovers for commercials in the 70s and 80s.
Hawaiian Punch.
I heard his voice on like every other commercial. He was all over the joint.
Hawaiian Punch. You would go for you go for a voiceover audition. If you saw Dan Ingram was there, you just turned around and walked out.
Yeah, you turned around and went home. Yeah, there was a kid named Kevin West who was like every commercial in the 90s in L.A. If you went on an audition, you saw his name on the top. I'm going home. See you later.
Did you have any? You were what borough were you born in? Brooklyn? No.
I was born in Far Rockaway in St. Joseph's Hospital, which is now St. John's Hospital, and raised there across in Nassau County and Hewlett there. Goodfellas territory.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you listen to New York radio. Who was your favorite?
Oh, sure.
Who was your favorite disc jockey?
Well, in the early days, I started listening to radio in 67, 68, so I started with like WABC, and I started with WMCA. And then later on, about a year or so later, I discovered FM. And I didn't know about you when you were on MCA, but I discovered you on FM when you were on, WPLJ, then WABC FM. Right. And I liked you a lot because I never really heard good call-in radio. I thought that was pretty cool. And I liked Scott Muni. Because to have a voice like that making radio is a fucking miracle. I gargle with glass and Brillo pads.
You know what his problem was? He had throat polyps, but that gave him
lots of them.
That gave him a distinctive voice. So
you never think a voice like that could have made on radio. So
usually,
my hat is off to him. If I had a hat.
If you have those polyps, you usually get rid of them. And he would get rid of some of them, but he wouldn't get rid of all of them because he wanted to keep a certain amount of them.
He'd have
them
that
voice.
Who else has polyps? Remove them and put them in my throat.
And he did a lot of commercials with that voice.
Crushed toothpaste. Use it or I'll fucking kill you.
I kept trying to misuse my voice so I could get voiceovers and get polyps. But unfortunately,
that was a miracle that he made it on radio because with that voice was just horrendous.
I never,
it was like endearing in a way. It was like a car accident. You had to look. You had to listen.
I never got throat polyps because I was trained how to use my voice. And that was to speak from the diaphragm, not to speak from your throat. Okay, most people speak from the throat. They're higher up here. They're talking like from the throat. Yeah. I talk from my diaphragm. And the way they taught me is they said, feel your chest. And when you're talking right, you can feel your chest vibrate. Okay, so I always talked from my chest, and I never got polyps. On the other hand, I'll tell you a guy who never talked, and this is a guy our audience would know, who had polyps and never spoke that way. And I tried to teach him how to do it, but he never did. It was Bobby Slayton. Slayton
he got a rough old voice.
He had to have polyps removed a few years ago.
Wow.
And that's why he always sounds like this. Hey, Bennett. Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah. So what did you learn about today, folks? You learned about disc jockeys you never heard of and throat polyps.
Yeah. There you go. Throat polyps and tri-state radio heroes from way back when.
So you weren't into like Cousin Brucey, were you?
I listened to him on WABC at night. He came on Cousin Brucey. Hey, everybody, Cousin Brucey, we're not going to the box tops. So, I listened to him. I liked him. I thought he was cool. I thought he looked like a gargoyle with the way he spoke, and then I saw a picture. Hey, he's not a bad-looking guy. Hey, this doesn't look like a gargoyle on a building. So
yeah.
I tried to picture the fun was trying to picture what they all looked like, and then you get the little sheet with the top 10 on it with all the pictures of this guy. Hey, I thought this guy had antennas. What the fuck? I thought this guy was a cyclops. They don't look anything like they sound.
Yeah,
but, I liked everybody.
I think he's still at Sirius on some level. I don't know. I don't listen to Sirius.
God bless him. I hope his second 127 years in the business are as good as the first.
God, he's got to be in his 80s, easily.
Well, more power to him.
Because he's older.
If he still sounds the way he does, he doesn't have an old man's voice. You sound the same as you did 45 years ago.
Really?
And if he still sounds the same as he did then, God bless him, he's young at heart, and so are his vocal cords.
Yeah. And he's doing the same act. It's like it hasn't changed.
What else are you going to do?
I mean, my act has changed a little, I think, but it doesn't matter. This isn't a radio program.
What's the difference? All my friends are dead.
This is play radio we do here, This is just kidding around. And hoping that somebody will listen.
Somebody, please. This is long Kansas.
Every guy who loses his job in radio goes, I'm going to do now. I'm going to go do a podcast. Oh yeah, sure, fine, fine. Go.
Like when once when Walter Winchell was finished and he wasn't writing for the papers anymore. He used to mimeograph his column and hand it out at the store club when people were coming out.
Oh, really?
Here you go. Keep reading it. I'm so big. Leave me alone.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I read that somewhere. I'm not finished. I'll be back. He'll like Johnny Friendly at the end of On the Waterfront.
Here's what we go.
He wouldn't give up.
We go in this never-ending wheel of trying to tell people who somebody is, and no matter how much you say it, you lose them again. Like, for instance, I could say, Walter Winchell, you may not have known about him on radio, where he was huge. Okay, he used to do the Walter Winchell reports. Oh, Mr. and Miss America, and all the ships at sea, let's go to press. That's how he opened up every day.
He was huge. He was a Cronkite of his day. He was a bastard.
Yeah, but what happened is I could tell people, well, maybe you didn't know him from that because you didn't know radio then. He was the narrator on The Untouchables.
There you go.
Okay, but then we get the second question from younger people. What was The Untouchables?
Oh, you can't win with these punks.
Wasn't that the movie with Sean Connery and Kevin Costner? I mean, so there's. I do think he may have acted. Did he narrate the movie? I'm trying to remember. That's a good question.
Sean Connery?
Yeah, no, Walter Winchell. I think he was dead.
Walter Winchell.
He was a.
I've been dead since 1972 and forgotten.
He was a son of a bitch. He would like vilify people in his column and just try to ruin them by calling them communists.
Yeah.
And you know who he called a communist constantly? Barry Gray. The guy who was I was the protege of, and I did his Saturday night show. He called him,
that son of a bitch.
In his column, the name he had for him was Barry Red.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah. And
I heard he called Lenny Bruce America's #1 vomit.
So what Barry Gray would do, much to his credit, was anytime anybody was blacklisted, right, where they would take an actor or a comic or whatever and blacklist them so they couldn't work anymore, he would have the person who was blacklisted immediately on his show to explain why he wasn't a communist or why he shouldn't be on the blacklist. So, and then Winchell had Barry Gray beaten up by gangsters.
Really? Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal. So that's why.
Wow, yeah, it was a simpler time.
Despite the fact that Barry threw me to the wolves when I got fired at WMCA, I still have the greatest respect for the guy. Hey, look, we've run out of time. We've run out of precious time.
Wow, that was a fun lesson in old-timey radio there. I enjoyed that.
That's 25 minutes towards the end of my life. You know.
We'll never get that time back again. When do we do the next one?
Let's do this one in a couple of weeks, okay?
I'm with you. I'm there, Daddy. I'll be there in Technicolor for you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
in big LAFO color.
The lovely and attractive, and I love to talk to him, Stephen Pearl. Bye,
Thank
Steve.
You. Thank you. Likewise, my friend. Thank you.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that was Stephen Pearl. I love Stephen. He's terrific. And it because it's pre-recorded, it gives me time to go to the bathroom. So anyway, hey, by the way, Damien wrote me a note, and I don't know what, it might have been reference to something in the interview. He says, yeah, you were talking about payola. Oh, yeah. All these years, and you're still my role model, he said. I'm doing everything I can to stop being your role model, just to say things about my life and times that will disappoint you. But I guess nothing will, Damien, so you're a true acolyte, as it were. I don't know. Whatever that means, but it's a pleasure working with you. Let me put it that way. Okay, all right. So anyway, let me turn on the Skype thing here. Yeah, if you don't know how to use Skype, by the way, and you want to call the show, just go over to gabnet.net, and you can read all on the left-hand side of the page. There's a whole tutorial on how to get Skype and how to call us using it. It's very simple. It's very easy. There's also a phone number there if you don't want to use Skype. You just want to give us a call. You're more than welcome to do it, okay? I'm not really in the center of the picture here. Let me see here. Again, I guess I can't change that. Okay. Anyway, here I am talking to you. And where are we? So I have the lines open in case anybody wants to call. Who knows? I always have the great fear that one night nobody's going to call at all. All right? Haven't heard from Rob in a while, in about over a week. So I hope you're okay, Rob, if you're listening to us. What else? That's about it. I have nothing of any great importance to talk about. Nothing much happened today. Oh, interesting stuff that you wouldn't care about. Like the fact that I now have my drugs at the drugstore for my new prescription system, in which I have to buy 3 months at a time. So, I think of it as, oh boy, I got to put out all this money all at once, but, I've got it to put out. And then it's just not any more than it was every month anyway, so it's going to be okay. But it's a whole new system because starting tomorrow, I am now on the SAG-AFTRA medical plan for my secondary, secondary medical thing. And my wife's on it too, and it's the one great thing my union has given me in my my dotage, I think is the term that's used, dotage. But anyway, so let's everybody give us a call. And Rob, I'm worried about you. I always get worried about people who are regulars to the program who then don't call for like a week. And I mean, they may have a problem or something's going on in their lives or whatever. But I kind of, it's strange. I was thinking about it today. This is really sick. I have no family. I mean, outside of girlfriend, she's my family, right? But I think I do kind of have a family here at GabNet. I mean, these people who call every night and that I talk to every night and that I have an ongoing relationship with kind of have become my family of sorts. And I don't know if you know, that bothers you if you're a regular, but I just wanted you to know. So I'm happy to say that you're my peeps. Okay. Oh, hey, here he comes. Ah, yes. Now you see, I speak and he arrives, ladies and gentlemen. There's Rob Alfano. I was getting a little worried about you, Rob.
How are you?
Yeah, but I figured maybe you were up to your ass in work or something like that.
Well, last Friday night, my neighbors had a couple of 40-year-old birthday parties. We had a big party.
Yeah.
I DJ'd all the 80s music East part. Did that.
Yeah.
And just being exhausted by 10:30 at night.
Yeah, for some reason your sound is going in and out, and it doesn't look like it's Skype that's doing it.
Yeah, I hear me coming back at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I?
You're fine. No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right.
You're fine. Your audio's just fine.
Rob, why don't you call back if it's still doing
How's
it?
that? Is it better now? I think I don't hear it anymore.
It's like a reverberation on it.
It's kind of like how can I do? I can't even describe it. It's kind of like you go into a hole for a second or something.
Let me hang up and call back.
Okay, you know, Skype is very weird. Yes, he's going to give us a call back. Hello, Phil.
Hey, Phil Meyer says hi.
Phil Meyer says hi. It is a Phil full night tonight.
Yeah, you're full of Phil.
Full of Phil. Let's hear you now. Let's see, Rob.
How's that sound?
It's
Same
just
thing.
There's a kind of like, I don't know. Oops. Now I'm hearing. Let me do something here. Let me kill the audio a second. Now let me bring it back up. Okay. Now I'm not having that slapback.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. Oh, I'm hearing a little bit of it. Yeah. I'm just. There's something.
You want to reboot your Skype now?
I don't think there's anything wrong with my Skype. Be honest with you.
It's fine now.
What? I mean, I don't have any problem with Skype.
No,
Because you're coming through fine. Talk to me now, Rob.
Hello, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, it's getting better. Lower your modulation a little bit. Lower your mic a bit. You're over. Huh?
How's that?
No. You know something? When you lowered it, we get the sound like there's another microphone on the other across the room or something.
That headset you're wearing, does that have a mic on it?
No.
I wonder if you are going through your regular mic.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's it. Talk to us now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's fine.
Well, we'll live with it, whatever it is. Who knows?
I haven't touched anything here.
I know. It's just
I can't figure out how to feed any audio through Skype anymore. I don't know what the hell happened, but
well, you go into Skype and you just simply say or built-in whatever is going to be your mic or whatever. Anyway, you sound okay. You sound all right now.
I heard you last night talking about. I wanted to talk about this because I heard you talking about writing a letter to Roku.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I did that on Saturday after I read about all of the like Delta Airlines and all that. I figured, you know what? I wrote to Amazon.
Yeah.
Tried to write to Apple, but I couldn't find a place to do it.
Let me tell people what you're talking about because they may not have heard last night's show and they don't know what we're talking about. It seems as though on Apple TV, on Roku, I believe on Amazon devices like their stick, their Amazon stick that picks up all the channels and stuff, they carry, Tony, they carry the NRA channel.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I was thinking about writing them, like Roku, and saying, how dare you, or Apple TV and saying, how dare you. And then I kind of had a second thought about it, because I go, well, I'm on there. I'm on Roku. We have a Roku channel, and I have the right to do that. So can I really complain that they don't discriminate because of political standing or whatever,
Are the shows you've watched?
Plus, you can either subscribe or not subscribe to those channels.
Yeah, I've never watched this NRA channel, but you have. And are these shows shows that would cause people to go out, take a Xanax the night before, and then go looking for a school?
So that's not the point.
That's not the point. That's not the point. They are very.
I got a letter back from them. I sent them a letter, and I told them that I'm going to think with my dollars. Yeah. I'm about to buy another device for another TV, and I'm glad I haven't made that decision yet. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to, just the way American Airlines or Delta Airlines and everybody is coming around to put some pressure on the NRA. This is not about content. This is about the time is right. This is the time to put pressure on them to do something, to be blood. No, this is the time to do something. This is not about content. I don't care about their content. But why do you think Dick's Sporting Goods today announced?
Yeah, I didn't even know they were selling them.
What?
I put my sneakers.
Is taking them off the market.
You didn't know that Dick's Sporting Goods wouldn't be selling guns? Are you out of your mind, Tony?
I bought my sneakers and won the ball.
So I raised the age.
What?
Walmart raised the age to buy guns.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
They followed Dick's Sporting Goods lead today. They announced first, then Walmart came out after.
But they didn't go as far as Dick's Sporting Goods, because they didn't say they weren't going to carry assault rifles.
No, they took them off the shelves too.
Walgreens? Okay.
Tonight. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I got this letter back from Roku. It was really well thought out, and it wasn't just like a form letter or a thank you for your reply kind of thing. They actually answered me, and I took the time again to thank them for their thoughtful letter. Yeah. And I really appreciated the fact that somebody took the time to write me. You can tell it was written to me and not a form letter.
What did it say in essence? Do you have it there at all?
Yeah, I got it here on my phone.
So they sent it to you by email.
Yeah. So it says here, I thank you for your thoughtful, no, wait a minute. That's my response back to them. Mm-hmm. Where is their message? Here it is.
This is from Roku now.
Hello. Thank you for contacting us. I want to reply to you after receiving your recent message about the content on our Roku platform. My coworkers and I shared deep sadness about the recent tragedy that occurred in Florida. Our streaming platform allows our customers to choose from thousands of entertainment, news, and special interest channels representing a wide range of topics and viewpoints. Customers can choose and control which channels they download or watch, and parents can set a pin to prevent channels from being downloaded. While the vast majority of all streaming on our platform is mainstream entertainment, voices on all sides of an issue or cause are free to operate a channel. We do not curate or censor based on a viewpoint. We are not promoting or being paid to distribute NRA TV. We do not and have not ever had a commercial relationship with the NRA. Their channel is free to consumers with no ads. We welcome Moms Demand Action and other important groups to use our platform to share their messages too. While open to many voices, we have policies that prohibit the publication of content that is unlawful, incites illegal activities, or violates third-party rights, among other things. If we determine a channel violates these policies, it will be removed. To our knowledge, NRA TV is not currently in violation of these content policies. I hope you better understand our position. We too want to see an end to the tragedies. I appreciate hearing from you.
That's actually, it's a form letter, but it's a nice form letter.
So my response to them was, I appreciate the letter back. However, this is not about, it's not about censorship. It's about putting pressure on the NRA to see, and I'm not talking about, Second Amendment rights, but responsible, like 21 years old, to buy an assault rifle, full background checks. It's about getting those things done and getting the NRA to see that there are enough people out there. And basically I said, you have this platform. And by you just having this platform and giving them platform to speak their speak, you can't just put your head in the sand and say you're not responsible.
They kind of replied to you by what I had said to you previously tonight. And that was that my second thoughts were, well, you know, they let me have my channel. Plus, you don't have to subscribe to the NRA channel. You don't have to ever see it. Unless you put it on your Roku as an icon, you're not going to have access to it.
But they could be, and I told them this. You know, I am looking at who is supporting responsible gun rights. What companies are supporting this? I mentioned Dick's Sporting Goods tonight. I said Dick's Sporting Goods came out today. I said these companies don't have to do this either. This is not about content. This is about standing up for something.
So, Rob, you don't like the Second Amendment and you don't like the First Amendment now?
I don't say I didn't like the Second Amendment. I'm not looking to take guns off shelves. I'm talking about doing something to stop this kind of carnage.
Let me give you a better idea here. I can tell how many people subscribe to my channel on Roku. There's something like 4,000 of them.
Wow.
Misguided human beings, but there are about 4,000 of them. And
it's really doubled.
And I think 3 of them watch it, but it's on the Rokus across the country. So I know how many people are subscribed to my channel. So does the NRA. If they see that by Rob's use and lack of use and everybody's lack of use of going onto that channel, their numbers start to go down, that's going to say something to them. I don't think that I would go along with, I would not write Roku and say, take them off. I would just say how displeased you are that they're there. I think that's a valid point. But, you know, right now you're talking, later on this show is going to be broadcast on my Roku channel. In fact, it's being broadcast live. The audio is being broadcast live on Roku right now. And if you go over to your YouTube icon or whatever and check in with that, you can watch this on your Roku or on your Apple TV or on your Amazon Fire Stick. So because of that, I can't bring myself to say they don't have the right to be on or that they shouldn't be on that platform. I think that we have the right not to subscribe to it. You get what I'm saying?
Again, where I'm taking it is I'm not saying they don't have a right to be on. Yeah. Right. What I'm saying is,
what were you
around the world are making statements.
Well, in other words, what would you want Roku to do to satisfy you? So you'll put Roku on another TV set. Although you're not going to put an Apple TV on another set. You're not going to put an Apple Fire Stick. And I think Google has one of those sticks too, and it probably has the NRA channel. So really,
they all have it. And in fact, I got to hand it to. I couldn't get Apple because I couldn't find a place to send an email to that made any sense.
Yeah.
But they do have a phone number if you want to call them and talk to them. I just didn't do it. But I wrote Amazon and got nothing back.
Yeah.
And so I credit Roku for actually, responding to me in a thoughtful way. Now, what I'm saying is to do what these other, why did Delta Airlines why did all these companies decide that they're no longer going to offer those discounts?
Well, in their particular case, they were doing a form of business with NRA members. In other words, they were giving a discount if you rented their cars. All right? So they were giving a certain kind of financial relief to people that they felt were a problem. And so they have done away with that. I think that one cannot be compared to the other. You know what I'm saying? In other words, if because the NRA channel were on, Roku decided to give a discount to every NRA member to buy a Roku, then I think we would have a reason to complain on the same level.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I get your point, but I still think that the more companies that apply pressure,
Yeah.
the better.
Yes.
Right?
Kevin, who sent me, by the way, the Dick's Sporting Goods thing, which I was going to read, but Damien beat me to it tonight, so I'm not going to sit here and read it on the air. But it's a very well written piece of work about why they're not going to be carrying assault rifles any longer, and why they're not going to be selling to anyone under 21, and why they're not going to. They never said they never ever sold bump stocks, so there's no reason for them to cut that out. But they're at least. They're taking some responsibility, and even admitting in the letter, in the thing that they wrote, that the kid did buy a gun, a shotgun from a Dick's Sporting Goods store, but he didn't use it in this particular crime, but he could have, and that's what also bothered them. Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, and they interviewed the CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods, and they the whole thing was that the guy had compassion, and he took that compassion and put, his gut to the whole thing, and said, I'm not going to wait for the legislation to do this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do it myself.
Yeah. And
if they want to come ahead and follow it, I'm going to at least start the ball rolling, and it's going to cost me money, but I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, make the 21, whatever. I'm not going to sell the assault weapons. I'm going to go ahead and do this shit now, and whatever you guys do later on, go ahead and follow me.
Do you think
he took the first steps?
Do you think there's some element here that maybe in the end they're going to do better because of it? Because a lot of people are going to think kindly of Dick's. Like I've never been
looking at the posts, and this is just plain old Facebook and whatnot. But all I could see was nothing but good, and it was up into the thousands and thousands and thousands. I could see no bad. And, there was always the trolls that were in there talking shit, but there was more good than bad.
Because most Americans are for sensible laws around guns. Nobody wants to see them taken away.
I do.
Right.
Well,
I do. Fuck him. Fuck him.
Trump today saying, bucking heads with the NRA and saying that he wants.
Yeah, I actually thought that was halfway decent.
What did he actually say he wanted? Did he put out anything, or did? And he also got on the Senate, or it was either Congress or Senate, about not doing anything. He says, "What are you afraid of the NRA?"
Yeah, they had a halfway decent talk around the table, and he was bumping heads with the Republicans. He was bumping heads. He was praising the Democrats. I actually I caught part of it.
Wait a minute. Let me
actually halfway. He called Diane.
Well, let me ask you this: is there a possibility that Trump has had a little talk with Wayne LaPierre and said, I can't be on the wrong side of history on this, so I'm going to say a certain amount of things that he maybe did this with LaPierre's blessing?
Could be.
I don't trust him enough to not say. I think he has.
Yeah.
I don't trust him enough.
Yeah.
He plays for the cameras, and then in the end, I
don't know. He for him to come out, say, "Hey, what are you afraid of these guys?"
He's a businessman.
And from the beginning, he said, "Hey, I like these guys, but we may have to bump a little heads."
Scott Boddicker, who isn't calling the show right now, writes, Trump wouldn't remember what he said today tomorrow.
Right, and they were calling.
Neither would any of us.
The Congress is saying, well, who did we get today, Tuesday or Thursday, Trump?
Exactly.
Harkening back to what he did with the immigration stuff, where he was all about this bill of love, and they go and they put a bipartisan bill together, and he just says no because the last person he talked to said no. Yeah. So they're taking him with a grain of salt.
Right.
Now he also they wanted to put some sort of concealed weapon thing where they could take it across states based on this age thing and the other stuff, and he said no, don't add that to the bill. He said it's a separate piece of legislation.
Yeah, he kind of went at it with Scalise on that one. Scalise was talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Scalise
and he kind of told him, don't mess with that. Don't screw with that. I agree. Every time he went at it with somebody like that, I kind of said, wow, look at him. He's actually being decent. But then I stepped back and said, wait a minute, this is Trump talking.
Well, wait a minute.
I want to believe him, but I can't.
A lot of these people.
This is the first time you're seeing the real Trump.
No, but
we've heard this. We've heard you say that before.
Yeah, I want to, but I can't.
Okay, wait a minute. Jeff wants to say something.
This is Trump Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is. Excuse me. It's Trump Wednesday. It's Trump Wednesday.
That's the reality.
Unfortunately, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, in your mind, I'm kind of happy with what he's doing.
I will tell you that I got an email today from work, and the email said because of the tax breaks, we're going to do a couple of things for you. They're giving us 2 more vacation days, and they're adjusting up the match for the 401k.
Those sons of bitches, how could they do that to you?
They're lying.
that Trump, he's getting you more vacation days. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but what is it going to cost us? So I'll get a couple of more vacation days and some more money in my 401k. But 10 years down the road, what are they going to take away from us to pay for all of it? They're going to take away my Social Security or my.
They're going to go after your Social Security, and they're going to go after your Medicare. That's the only places they can see getting money.
Fingernails. They want your fingernails.
Well, I'll tell you something. Number one, your Social Security you paid into, so you're owed it. All right.
You think?
And your bosses did as well. The government never paid into it. All right.
Right.
That's for starters. With Medicare, the only thing wrong with Medicare is it only takes care of 80% of your medical costs. It should take care of 100%. If we hadn't been robbing from Social Security all these years, we might be able to take care of 100%, but we don't.
I take a base salary because you have to, as if you don't, as a corporation, you got to show that you're being paid a reasonable base salary, and my net pay went up, and it probably went up about $1,300 a year, maybe a little more.
Oh, that's a lot of money every year.
Well,
spend it all in one place.
Yes.
Yeah, and if in the end you don't have Medicare when you get older, and you're getting to that age, you paid for it,
Well, my girlfriend just got a job where they're giving her medical, so I'm covered under hers.
How are you? You're not married.
Because we're in California. We've been together over 10 years, and we're what do they call that? Domestic partners.
Shacked up is what we used to call it.
Yeah. So now I'm not going to do anything. It's not Kaiser. She has. I don't know that I'm going to take it because I have Kaiser and I'm going through some stuff right now.
Yeah.
So, but I might be able.
Yeah, but we're all I'm saying is that, and that's nice, and you probably feel good about it, but not everybody is I didn't get the bonus because I'm not working.
Yeah, how come we didn't get a bonus, Alex? What's the deal?
Yeah, because we're not working. Are you working, Kevin?
We didn't get a raise on our tax our Social Security.
Yeah. Alex, you get taxed on Social Security, right?
Well, let me see here. We file as a family, and so therefore my money adds into the total amount. I would still be paying for my Social Security. What am I getting per month? I don't know. But then I have my after pension, which is not a lot of money every month. It's under $1,000 a month. So I am at a point where I still would be paying taxes. Yes.
I'm taking more than the maximum Social Security plus your after pension. You said was about $1,000. So I'm taking considerably more than that as a salary, and I'm seeing a lessening of taxes. So probably, I don't know how much your wife makes. Probably a lot more than me, but she may put you over a certain. You can file separately, can't you?
We can file separately, but I don't think that we found that is. My business manager weighs both of them and says which one we're going to be better with, and we've decided that she would get thumped a lot harder if we weren't filing as a family.
Well, I want to make sure you get all the money that you got coming to you, because I'm going to be a creditor of your for a while. You're buying one of my computers, but
I'm giving you the money all at once. It's not like you're going to be sending me a bill every month, okay?
I'm a creditor.
I'm gonna owe him $300 because I'm getting his mini Mac. And he said I said, how am I going to pay you? And he said, you can do it on a credit card. Really?
You think you would give it? You should give it to him.
He's got a company. He takes credit cards. So
I have my little photo business, and I have that little square.
They'll send you a 1099 too.
That's under 600.
Well, I'm not sending you my credit card. I'll give you the information, and you can tap it in.
Exactly. Give me the information. I type it into the phone.
How do I know you're a secure website?
Yeah, exactly. You get $1,000 bill.
I have to put a couple of things on this jump drive that are on the desktop of that before I kill what's in it.
Yeah, and then just redo the whole thing. Put in the new, just set it back to factory default, and then it should wipe out everything that's there, like passwords and so on. But leave all the porn on it, please.
Like I said, I don't have any porn on it. I don't put anything on the hard drive. It's all on the Dobro.
Well, wait a minute. This thing doesn't have a hard drive, does it? It's all flash.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a gig. It's a hybrid drive. It's
I see.
It's like an SSD and a hard drive.
All in one. Yeah, good. Pretty fast, I would imagine, when you're starting it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we lately we've been facing these moral conundrums, and it's interesting that Hollywood has a conundrum too. These
Ryan
kids,
Seacrest.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right. But right now, the thing is that what's terrible, and what's good rather are these students, and these students have become a guiding force in this country for this movement to do something about guns, and they're very effective, mainly because you see a kid who was shot at, who then is in Washington, D.C., holding up a placard, and you're going to respond to that. What they're worried about is that Hollywood would become involved. And Hollywood has become involved, but quietly, because they realize the same thing. Let it be the kids' crusade. Okay? Supposedly George Clooney has dumped a lot of money at them to help them out so they can go anywhere they want to go and get things done. But he's not making it public. And a guy who has been experienced at holding what do you call it? Fund drives, for instance, for various things. Like in Manchester, he did the thing over there to take care of those victims, and he's done stuff here in this country for like the Las Vegas victims. He is involving himself, but quietly, and saying we don't want anybody to know that we're in back of this whole, that we're backing them. We want them to do it, but we're going to give them the muscle they need. And so I'm just glad that Hollywood isn't suddenly jumping in and overtly doing something, but rather attempting to do it quietly.
Maybe George Soros is making the signs, like he did at the Trump protest during the primaries.
Yeah. Not one of my favorite people, by the way.
Or mine.
No, but you write me things about Chuck Schumer, and I'm going, so why are you writing me about Chuck Schumer? You know I don't like him.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the picture of the hip with the dying gun, shooting it, and the fact that he has a concealed weapons permit, but doesn't want anyone else to have one.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I'm sure if he knew that everybody couldn't get a concealed weapon permit, he'd give his up in a second now.
He's in New York. Nobody can get a concealed weapons permit. Can't even own a gun.
He happens to be a senator, a controversial senator, somewhat, and I would see why he would be doing it for protection. You know.
All right.
Yeah. You know, I would understand it. I would never personally. I would never do it myself.
Why should these protections be afforded to every man and woman? Well, they want to get rid of man in speak. That's another thing. Did you read that article that now the movement is to get rid of the word man in mankind and so forth?
Well, you know, why not?
Well, because we say man as almost like a species in a way, right? We say, well, man did this.
Or mankind, you know.
Mankind, yeah.
It's
I don't think they mean it as, they don't mean, yeah. I don't think it's meant as...
Well, we know why it's meant, and it's an overall term that women do come under the category of mankind.
Right.
Yeah.
But that some people might be bothered by the fact that that term exists. And would there be a better term? Person-kind is a little. It's getting too political.
It's like I'm always wondering. I'm waiting for the thing to come up where everybody says guys. What about it, guys? And it's full of women. I'm just waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Room full of women. Come on, guys.
How you guys doing?
Do that.
It's gotten to that point.
Would it be improper to say "What up, bitches"?
Yeah,
Not in my street.
Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie, and Hoda. Come on, guys, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
And Al Roker's standing there going, tucking his dick between his legs.
Didn't he get his tummy tucked, by the way? Because he is looking.
He got the where they tie the staple.
That's like years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty much kept the weight on.
Scott writes here, Phil seems a little insecure with his manhood.
Hey, and as of March 19th, he'll be right.
Yeah. Phil's going to go get his prostate removed. Maybe his whole politics will change.
Imagine he comes out of.
Well, I don't really give that. I really don't give a shit about guns anymore. No, that's only if we take your. No, that's only if we take your balls. If we take your prostate, that's not going to do anything. Hello, Ray Renati.
Hey, Alex.
How are you this evening? By the way, your dog.
Pretty good.
Your dog last night. We had people showing their dogs. You weren't here, were you, Tony?
No, I missed the list.
Everybody, we were letting everybody show their dogs, and of course, Phil has a dog, and Kevin has a dog. You have a dog, don't you, Kevin?
I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't Kevin. Ray, what's his name?
Ebert.
Bob Ebert, not Ebert. Bob Ebert had a cute dog, but Ray's looked like the dog was out of a cartoon. Like he was drawn by Disney.
What kind of dog was that?
It's a Labradoodle.
It's a mixture. That's cool.
Yeah, but it was bred from the late 70s by a long line of Labradoodles in Australia. It's only like 30 pounds.
Well, that's cool.
It has that hair in front of its eyes, so how does it see?
I don't know.
Same way as
it sees though, because when I throw the ball, she finds it. So
it's good. That's good.
Yeah, I throw the ball to mine and she finds it, but won't bring it back.
So
mine will do it all day long.
Yeah,
I think it's the Labrador part.
Yeah, I would like her to bring it back.
Some dogs will not bring it back. It depends on the breed, I think.
Well, I had a cat that used to fetch.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I would throw a tinfoil ball, and the cat would go after it, and then bring it back and drop it at my feet, and I'd throw it again. And I thought that was very smart of the cat, and then I found out it's considered obsessive compulsive behavior on the part of a cat.
Really?
So, Then all of a sudden the cat wouldn't bring it back, and later on, cat would come along and, hey, are you gonna throw something? And so I go to the kitchen and get some tin foil, make a little ball, and throw it, and we back.
Were you too cheap to get her a toy?
Well, no, but one day we were cleaning up the apartment in New York City, which was kind of weird because that place was really filthy, and we pulled out the couch. And what was in back of the couch but hundreds of foil balls.
My mother would have went crazy.
Hundreds of foil balls that this cat had been collecting.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
My dog does that with socks. She's obsessed with socks. If she sees a sock on the floor, she takes it.
Really?
I had miniature schnauzers growing up, and they like socks. Yeah. The whole time, I never had two socks that matched.
Yeah, that's...
I buy only black socks, and the same kind, the same size. So if they don't match, they match.
Yeah.
Well, I wear basically just white socks all the time. Of course, if I'm going out, I wear black socks. Get dressing up.
And white patent leather belt and plaid pants.
But Letterman did that. Letterman wears suits on the show, and he wears loafers with white socks.
Yeah, he's done that for years with the White Sox.
Yeah.
And he used to have that double-breasted suit, and he would never button it. It was always hanging open.
Well, I had a double-breasted suit, and I love to leave it open. It's nice to let it hang. It's just weird. Yeah. It weird.
Looks weird on television.
Well, yeah. So, in my case, I always looked weird on television. So.
What was that show that you used to do on KQED?
Comedy Tonight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was good.
Yeah, that was on PBS across the whole country.
Cool.
Back, and I got to tell you, the year had to be maybe 19. Wow, when was it? When did I leave here? And when I left here in 1979, maybe. Went to San Francisco. And then in about 83 or 84, I did HBO's One Night Stand as the announcer. Okay? And I just looked at my residuals from AFTRA, and a couple of days ago, I got a check from HBO for a Bill Maher special I did in like 1985. I'm still getting money for those one-night stands. If they put them on their HBO Go site, where they have a whole bunch of old comedy shows of theirs, if my one-night stand's on there, I'll get a check for it.
Wow.
Was it over $20?
Huh? No, it was $79.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
And for years with the Comedy Tonights, which I only got paid $150 a show, because it was PBS, they kept sending me residuals over the years that amounted to thousands. So, I really would like to have gotten into that residual business more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they reran those a lot.
Yeah.
Those Comedy Tonight.
Yeah. And they every now and then they talk about rerunning them or dredging them up, because the reason for it is that there were a lot of people who were young at that point, and it's kind of interesting to see them performing.
Right.
Oh, you want to plug Larry Brown is having a show at the Throckmorton Saturday?
Yes. We already plugged it. When he was on. When he was on.
Larry on today.
No, I had him on yesterday, and he talked about the fact that it's his 37th anniversary in comedy.
Right. So he's going to be at the Throckmorton.
I said,
are you going to go, Phil?
I'm not sure.
I might. Traffic's not bad. If it was Friday, I would. Oh, no, I can't go. I don't know. Never mind. I can't.
Yeah, I might go.
Where's it at, Phil?
The Throckmorton Theater. I think it's 142 Throckmorton. It's right downtown Mill Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's everybody who's listening to us right now, let's all head over there. Okay. We just
I'd
lost.
like to
We
see
lost.
Bubba.
We
We
lost.
just
lost
lost
a
We
thousand
lost.
people.
We lost
Yeah,
Jeff.
you know, if I go, the only thing about the Throckmorton is if I take pictures, I have to take it from the soundboard, and that's up in the balcony.
So don't take pictures. Just go and enjoy the show.
I don't enjoy shows. I like taking pictures. You know?
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, if you can't get into a position where you can take a good picture, then it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, let's get on to other stuff here. So we were talking about Ray before you got on about the Dick's Sporting Goods decision.
Yeah, I was listening.
Which we think is a very good decision. But we were asking about just all these other people that do you suddenly say I'm not going to buy another Apple TV because they have the NRA channel on Apple TV, but they also have it on Roku. They also have it on the Fire Stick with Amazon. They also have it on whatever Google's thing is as well. So I mean, I think to write them a letter and say you're upset that it's there's nothing wrong with that. But
there's some Gabnet listeners that say that they're not going to buy a Roku because Phil's on Gabnet.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that. They've written and they've protested.
Yeah.
But, Rob wrote them and took time out of his busy life to do something about it. And I think that people, no matter how you feel, if you feel that it's wrong of these companies to run the NRA channel, while I don't think I morally can bring myself to write a letter protesting that particular thing, but if you're bothered by it, write them and let them know, and let them know how you feel about it.
Well, I was bothered by the fact that these companies did that to the NRA.
No, but you see,
I became a life member.
That's a different position, though, Phil. Because when all that those people are saying is, you used to get a discount from us, you're not going to get it anymore because we don't want to encourage what we consider your bad behavior.
It's not just the discount; it's the vanity credit cards.
Well, the vanity credit, the credit card company that puts out NRA credit cards is going to stop doing it.
From the credit card purchases, there's a possibility that they got a kickback from the credit card people.
Sure.
I don't know how that thing works.
Yeah.
Sure they do.
Anybody here know?
The NRA logo.
Yeah, they do, and then every time you present that credit card, it tells them something. It tells somebody something.
United one gives me miles. My American Airlines one gives me miles.
It probably gives you points. Some of them give you points.
Tony wanted to say something. He had his hand.
Oh, you know what I was going to say? When I went to visit Shecky Saturday, we were talking about this, and I wanted to email Amazon. I didn't get around to it yet because I was kind of annoyed by it, really, the NRA thing.
Well,
I was kind of hoping. I mean, I would still be a product.
I don't know. Does Amazon sell guns?
I don't know. I'm on it right now. You want me to take a look?
Take a look.
I don't think they can. You can't sell guns on the internet like that.
You can't.
I don't think so.
You can get it delivered to somebody with an FFL license, and they go through the waiting period and so forth. Let me see.
But it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's like buying it for Bass
See,
Pro
that I would complain about. I would say, don't you think that you would be helping America by not selling guns? Because, they do vet everybody who wants to sell on Amazon, although there's been some question as to whether they vet them enough because there was something the other day.
Alex, they do sell guns.
They do. Oh, my God. Look at
this. This is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because you can buy them.
$7 gun. What is
They're
it?
all air rifles, though.
These are air things.
They're air rifles.
The air rifles that look like military weapons. One of them is taking them off. It's either Dick's. or Walmart's removing those air guns that.
Oh, that's right. Walmart is doing that. They're getting rid of all toys that resemble those assault rifles.
Must be a toy. They're like $18.
Wow.
They shoot pellets, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have one of these. Some of these are strong.
I'm glad I bought my bug assault gun from Bass Pro.
Oh my God! One of them. It tells you how many are sold. One of these guns, Alex, They sold 2,124 sold already for $10
But
a
they're
piece.
not real.
I know, but I mean, who wants to buy these
They're
anyway?
pellet guns.
They're pellet guns. There's a
For
big difference.
$10?
Yeah, $19, $10, $40.
What are you doing with
So
this
they don't
stuff?
sell regular guns.
No.
Okay,
They just
so
sell pellets.
we've answered that question. Okay,
Like BB guns.
you know,
Yeah,
pellet guns.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? You're going to put your eye out with that. You know, it's
I
about.
don't know what
it's-
you do with it.
Yeah.
You just do like target shooting in your backyard with cans and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bought a gun that you put table salt in and you can shoot flies with it.
I saw that. Does it work?
Oh, it works great.
Yeah, I saw that on TV or some ad somewhere.
It's called bug assault.
So let me ask you. So anyway, who's this woman that quit the White House today?
The real hot one.
Oh yeah, the X model.
Hope, what's
Oh
her-
yeah, Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah.
Hope has no hope anymore.
Hope.
She's hot, man.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Hope Hicks.
hope.
Hicks.
Nobody has been able to keep that job. Scaramucci.
No,
of these
she
people.
didn't. No. Scaramucci was going to take over the press secretary job.
Well, she was the
No.
She
was-
Communications director.
She was the communications director. There's a big difference.
Well, yeah, they've got.
Believe me, if Hope Hicks were doing those press conferences, we would just sit there in awe and listen to her.
Yeah.
Because
And
you would
we
be
wouldn't give a
sitting
shit
Turn the
because
volume off.
Thank you. Can we have a little more?
with the volume
Buy all
off.
you want.
You know.
I think what happened with her is fear. She spent 8 hours yesterday in testimony. She didn't really want this. She signed on to do like PR for Ivanka's clothing line. And Trump said, "What do you know about politics?" She said nothing. And he said, "You're going to be my communications director." And I think she must have realized, you know what? I'm not going to go down with this ship, and I'm not going to be personally responsible. I see everybody around here getting attorneys. I don't need this crap. See ya.
I think that's
That's
probably
what
what
I
happened. I think she bailed. And
She
she
wouldn't talk.
supposedly was the most loyal Trump person there. She had been there since before he decided to become president.
Right.
They've been Okay.
friends for
Her
years.
when she was a little girl, and modeled her in his in his
No,
image.
and she's been very, very, very loyal to him
have horrid
without seeming to be like a toady. Now her big problem was this guy Rob, what's his name, who beat up his wife. Well, everybody says they were romantically linked.
Yeah, he
And
was
I
fucking her.
said, you know, the
good-looking
problem
guy.
is
She was
that on national television they can't just say she was fucking Rob. You know.
As the White House turns.
yeah. Well, how about Seacrest?
But wait a minute. Let's
you know,
Seacrest. We can get to Seacrest in a second. But you know, this Hope Hicks. Here's a bunch of guys. What do we come up with? Boy, she's hot.
That's about it.
And what I said, I tell you, Albert and I went to the Republican convention when it was here in New York because, well, we were able to get in because I was the press and he was the press. And we got in to watch it, and we're walking the floor, the main floor. And I'm saying to him, look at that woman over there. He says, yeah, but look at that one over there. And I'm saying, we're two left-wing guys here lusting after these fucking conservative women. But I don't know, but there was something, they had sexier women than I saw at the Democratic convention. I'm sorry.
maybe you can be in that new movie on Weinstein. Isn't there a Weinstein movie when he was young? The making of Weinstein and what he's done. I understand that's coming out shortly.
No.
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 Yeah.
No. I hear that. What's his name? Who's the Broadway writer? The playwright is writing a play based on Weinstein.
Is that Tony Kushner?
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
No.
How about the NRA lady there, Elvira, whatever her name is?
Oh, Jesus.
Mistress of the Night.
She looks like Elvira. She looks like she's dead.
Yeah.
Burn you with your eyes, too.
Yeah.
Like she was on
Like Elvira. Elvira, she had a,
This woman looks like she's on True Blood.
What was
playing
her?
one of the vampires.
Elvira's
God.
real name was Cassandra something or another. I'm trying to remember her last name. She was actually a comedian who started doing that as a bit, and then it turned into a profession, and then it turned into not being a profession. So whatever. Okay, you wanted to talk about Ryan Seacrest. What about Ryan Seacrest?
Is he going to lose his
Oh, now
job?
that I said it, Phil isn't saying anything.
No.
Oh, okay. What about Ryan Seacrest?
Because all night long you're
Here's
going, what
a guy-
about Ryan Seacrest? What about, what about Ryan Seacrest?
Here's a guy
Yeah.
that's got so many shows that he's doing,
Yeah.
and he's so powerful in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and now they're coming out against him. But he isn't a bad-looking guy. He doesn't look like a monster, so all he said
To
was,
begin with,
"I
it's
didn't do it."
it's only one woman. Okay? All the other people that have worked with him
Yeah,
said this.
and she says he grabbed her by the pussy, and all the things that Trump was accused of.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on a second. To begin with, this was only one woman. Most, I think all the women who work with him have kind of come forward and said, no, actually, he's a very decent guy, and he's been very decent to me, and, so, and Seacrest is saying this woman tried to hold him up for like $15 million or something like that, or wanted money. And she, of course, denies it. But, there's a lot of question about Ryan Seacrest's guilt in this matter because it's only one woman. It's not like this whole bunch of people who jumped in and suddenly said, oh, yeah, he fucked me, and before you know it, he's Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
So now the big question they're asking is Sunday night is the Oscars, which I do want to bring up here.
This Sunday?
Yes, this Sunday. It happens once a year, Tony.
Now I got to get snacks for Sunday. I like that.
You like the Oscars? You would. Anyway, he does the red carpet.
Oh.
And he says they're standing by him because they found nothing in their investigations that would make them suspicious of him as being a predator or anything else. So now you're going to have this guy on the red carpet interviewing Hollywood stars. And the question is, are they going to avoid him?
They said there's a group that's going to avoid him. I don't remember what group it is, but they said that there's going to be a certain amount of group that's going to steer around him. So I don't remember what group it is, though.
Yeah, well, I saw an interview. Howard Stern did an interview with Jennifer Lawrence in the last day or so that I saw broadcast. Today, and he asked her what she would do, and she said, well, he really isn't guilty of anything. This is all accusations. And so I don't know what I'll do when I'm approached by him, but it seemed as though her feeling was, probably I should do, I should talk to him.
What about his Kelly Ripa show? Is that being affected?
Not so far. I would hate to see him go down for one woman complaining, The woman worked with him as a makeup woman, I think, at E! For something like
6 years.
6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
If this was really a terrible, terrible situation, why was she there that long? Why did she hang out? Why did she stick around? And so
but how many others? I mean, look at it. How many others have been in the same situation that are gone?
Yeah.
Not one. Not for one.
Not for one. How many? I mean, I don't know.
Now, I think that if she brings charges and he's found guilty, then whatever. But one person, I think you need to have legal action. If you've got 10 women coming out, then it's a different story. It's easy enough to corroborate, right?
Yeah.
But
there's nothing to indicate.
Have there been any that have gone down with just one? That's what I'm asking. I don't
Dustin Hoffman?
What's his name? The comedian.
Louis C.K.?
Louis C.K. went down
C.K.,
on the testimony of, I think, 2 women who were all in the same room at the same time. Okay. That
What
was
about Dustin Hoffman?
Dustin Hoffman.
Because there's been so many, and then some of them just disappear like that, maybe just because they want to get out of it.
Well, I mean,
I don't remember.
You have to look at them in separate instances. In the case of a Dustin Hoffman, he's my age. All right? So he's accused of this stuff, and is that going to hurt his career? Well, his career is pretty much at the end now anyway. It's time for retirement, and so fuck you. I'll leave the stage. All right?
His residuals.
But if you're somebody like Louis C.K. who's younger, that's ruined his career.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that where there's smoke, there's fire, in that there's a lot of undercurrent typically with these people. It's like everybody knows about it, but nobody says anything.
Right.
So it may be different in Ryan Seacrest's case. If there's only one person, maybe it did happen. Maybe he had a crush on her back in, this is a long time ago. When
they kept talking about that crush to her. Yeah.
So, it very well might be that, he was very early in his career and he did this. Maybe, does that mean he should lose his career for just one?
Well, at least it gets the onus off of him from the suspicions we've had all these years that he was gay. Tony. Yes, Tony.
Yeah. I have to sign off because I have to help my mother to the bathroom because she's trying to. I'm upstairs, so she's calling me.
You have to help your mother to the
bathroom. She has a walker, so sometimes she can't see that because I open the door.
Give her one of those potty things that.
No, I got to get her to the bathroom. She can get to the bathroom, but I just stand behind her just in case.
You know something? This is the kind of guy you hear about.
It's true.
With his mother, he's like Norman. He's like fucking Norman Bates.
Xanax, and he goes looking for a school.
Next thing you know, next thing you know, he's going to be doing some weird things with animals and things like that.
I mean, she can do it. I just make sure that
I got to go up and help my mother get to the bathroom.
I'm upstairs actually right now, Alex. I'm upstairs. I'm in the front.
You know that Lizzie different, right?
Are you into taxidermy?
She can get them. But I got to make sure that she gets them.
Well, you better hurry up so she doesn't pee on the floor.
I know you live in a hotel.
No, it's actually a two-story.
Giving you a hard time, Tony.
I think you're a good guy, man.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow night.
I think it's wonderful of you, Tony. Okay. Oh boy, that's amazing. Okay, let me get rid of this. Let me see here. I want to get rid of that Gabnet Live because we're losing him, and that's going to change the whole thing. Remove this person from the group. There we go. Okay. Now would it? Could I put that? Could I put our logo back up again? Oh, I could. Oh, okay. I'll do it. All right. There we go. Anyway, this whole thing has. Do you think it's kind of getting? Like by the time it got to Ryan Seacrest now and this whole thing with Ryan Seacrest, that the whole Me Too thing is kind of softening and that it's not affecting him like it would have affected him if, let's say, he were the third person after Weinstein.
This Me Too thing could have been influenced by the Russian trolls. And, and they may have made it up.
Yes. Right.
I think, for one accusation, there's a hell of a lot of news stories. I mean, he's got a lot of heat coming down on him right now. Well, because he's
the one of the moment. I think he'll survive it. American Idol I saw an ad today. He's on American Idol starting this week, or next week, or whatever. And they don't seem to have decided to get rid of him. I think everybody's sticking by him because I think the preponderance of the evidence is this is one case and it may not be true.
Does he own that show or part of it?
What?
No.
American Idol, does he own part of that show?
No.
It's Fremantle, I think.
Yeah.
I think, again, I think a lot of it has to do with people who I don't think there's a big secret about all these people that are doing this, but as it comes out, people, there's a lot of murmuring going on with certain people, and Seacrest may not be one of them. And I just think that people want to, all right, one person, if another one comes out, okay,
He's got a lot of backers.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Wouldn't you have thought that by now, because this happened a while ago, and now this woman has brought it up again because we're getting close to the Oscars, okay?
And his show and American Idol.
Yeah, and American Idol. She decided to bring it up again, and that's why it's hit the news again. But nobody else. The first time she said it, you would have thought that if there were other people, you would have heard about a whole slew of women saying, oh, yeah, and I work with him, and he goosed me, and, he touched my breast or whatever. No, this is the only one.
They did an investigation. And
they cleared him. Yeah.
And she's saying that they covered it up in his favor and so forth. But she's also saying that she made some reports.
Yeah.
About this, either to other people during the time that it was happening.
He may have, look, with this woman, he may have become amorous towards her. I mean, a woman's working on your face every day. Don't you think you're going to get a little amorous towards her if she's good looking? And
then you just grab her pussy.
I mean, you ever been in a makeup chair and gotten hot for the woman?
The pussy's right there.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus. Yeah.
Now there was a senator a Republican senator who was also a Navy SEAL who supposedly had an affair, and there was some texting or sexting back and forth, and now his seat's in jeopardy.
His seat's in jeopardy? That's funny.
With Alex Trebek? No. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry.
But all I'm saying is that I think that a lot of people are a little sympathetic towards Seacrest because there isn't a preponderance of these claims. In the case of Bob Weinstein, or not Bob Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, how many people are we up to now? 60, 65, something like that?
Yeah, that's...
Didn't they say they were bringing charges against him, or was it either in New York?
They keep saying they're looking into the bringing up of charges. In England, Kevin Spacey just closed his foundation, by the way.
They closed it.
What's that, Save the Children?
Yeah. It was a child's foundation.
Yeah. He closed down his... we haven't heard from Spacey in quite a while, and I don't think we're going to.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Well, you see, let me throw this at you. I think Spacey is probably, I don't know, an asshole. I get the feeling he's an asshole. And I think that when you're an asshole, nobody comes to your defense.
Yes. Agree.
But if you're a nice guy and you've been decent to people around you and some of these things come out, people come to your defense. People don't throw you to the wolves. So I think maybe Seacrest is an okay guy.
Yeah, because nice guys really don't grab women by the pussy, or nice guys don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I could see where he was, for instance, be smitten by this woman, and occasionally kind of came on romantically to her, and that's what she's talking about.
But she's not hot,
huh?
He's better looking as a guy.
I saw a picture of her. She's very good looking.
You think so?
Yeah. I will use the man standard. I'd fuck her.
Then what about Billy Bush? I mean, what did he do?
He didn't do anything.
He
didn't do anything. He was on the bus talking to Trump, and he was laughing at the things Trump was saying.
Yeah,
but then again, and I know what he was probably in the middle of. Something's going on. Trump is saying some stuff, trying to be funny. You're doing the interview. You've got him as your guest, and you're trying to you want to keep him happy. So you laugh at his little jokes. That's all he ever did that was wrong. He didn't.
And he got screwed.
That was bullshit.
Yeah.
That was just wrong.
But that's what happens is you're a performer and you get caught in the middle of a firestorm. And once the fire starts, you either have to wait for it to burn out on its own, or there's just no way to take a hose and put it out.
He's banished from a TV show, listening to that and laughing. And the other guy who said it all is now the president.
Yeah, the guy.
That's just wrong.
And on at least from 9 other women has been accused of grabbing pussy. Okay,
Yeah.
so
There's no justice.
yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. And I saw an interview with Billy Bush, and what he's doing now is he's got some kind of side business he's doing. It has nothing to do with show business. It's like he's
related to the,
Huh?
Wasn't he related to the wrong Republicans?
He was related to the president.
Yeah,
He was
Billy Bush.
cousin or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt Billy Bush got screwed, and I wasn't a big fan of Billy Bush's, but I felt he got screwed.
He got thrown under the bus.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Hey, you think this is worth going to? April 30th, Ronan Farrow is going to be doing a. He's going to speak at the Commonwealth Club.
Can you take pictures?
No.
You take pictures?
Oh, yeah, I can actually.
Well, then, yeah, go.
Yeah,
Then you
but-
got to go if you can take pictures.
Yeah, and then compare them to pictures of Frank Sinatra and see if you can see the similarity.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of him. There's probably a similarity. He certainly doesn't look like.
I don't know. Ronan Farrow bothers me.
Comes with a book.
Does anybody agree with me on that? He bothers me. And you say, well, how can he bother you? Why does he bother you? There's just something about him that seems as though he's got a point to make. There's something he's trying to accomplish business-wise.
Well, he's selling his book.
Yeah.
And he's saying this is the end of diplomacy and the decline of the American influence.
Yeah, well, what does Ronan Farrow fucking know?
Yeah, that's true.
He was born into privilege. He was a mama's boy, and that makes him an authority.
Yeah, investigative journalist.
Investigative journalist. Yeah, right. Remember they hired him because they thought he was going to be just the biggest thing MSNBC ever had, and within about 3 weeks they had buyer's remorse. Do you remember that?
He is the biggest thing MSNBC ever had. Who else do they got on there? They got that one woman.
What do you mean? They
with the leather pants.
Well, they got Brian Williams. They've got what's her name? The lucky lesbian. What's her name?
Yeah, the one with the leather pants.
What the hell's her name? Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow.
Rachel.
She actually beats out Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty tough. She beats them up good.
Yeah. No, she does very well for Fox. For MSNBC.
Now, because Fox has fired everybody. If they haven't died, they fired them. They got rid of Kelly. What's her name? They got rid of the leprechaun guy, Bill O'Reilly.
O'Reilly, yeah.
They got rid of anybody who had ratings on that.
The leprechaun guy.
Yeah. So pretty soon, he looks like a leprechaun.
By the way,
okay.
Can I beat on my own chest about one of my own gripes? I had $60 stolen from me by PBS. And you're saying, how, Alex, did that happen? Well, the other night I tried to sign on to what do you call it? Onto the Channel 13 channel here. Wait a minute. Hey, Bree?
Yes, hi, Alex.
Yeah. There's some talking going on in the background. It was.
Yes, I'm at a conference this morning. I'm at an event.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I was able to connect to the hotel Wi-Fi, so you're able to hear me now.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Anyway, no, but what I was going to say is that I went to my PBS channel and it said, well, if you want this, you want that, you have to subscribe. Well, I had already paid them a year ago some money, and so I went in and I resubscribed. It gave them $60, and the thing won't turn on. So I'm not getting the service I paid for. Oh, look, he's in a suit.
You got to call him.
No, I'm not.
Turn it sideways. Turn sideways. Turn your camera sideways, because that way we get the.
Like this?
Yeah, well, there we go. See, there we go.
Are you in another country? Are you in Europe?
He's in Dubai.
He's in Dubai.
Oh, Dubai. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
You don't know that, Alex.
I don't know that you're in Dubai.
Today, you don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not there?
Yeah, I'm in Dubai.
Oh, okay. Why? You can't say that? You shouldn't say that? Nobody should know that you're in Dubai?
No, I'm just saying, because when I go to a conference, I could be anywhere. Next month, I'll be in Greece. The month after that, I'll be in India. The month after that, I'll be in the States. The month after that, I'll be in Malaysia.
I hope you will call this program from each of those destinations.
The timing may not work out.
Really?
Because in Greece,
now, wait a minute.
For example.
Somebody is calling us named Angelita Cadena, but Angelina, I can't put you on because you didn't call. Oh, she sent a contact request. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see here.
You finally get a woman calling the show, and you're not going to take her.
You know, I'm always questioning the people, these women who call, because I'm thinking, you know, you get a lot of, you know, spam this way. But let's see if she answers.
Ooh, a robot.
Angelita. Huh?
Hey, I didn't know you'd started already.
Oh, are you there, Angelita?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
She's real. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Can't you hear me?
Yeah. Do you have a camera on your Skype?
Oh, let me see if I can get it working.
Yeah, just turn it on, and because. Oh, look, we're looking at the buffet in Dubai. Oh, she just hung up. We lost her. What is that? That is the buffet in Dubai, right? It's the yeah.
Bagels and lox.
It is. It's bagels and lox.
Just the snack for.
Is that bagels and lox?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
But no Jews.
Hold on a second. I wonder what happened to Angelita. Should I try her again?
Yeah.
Should I try her again? Let me add her to the group.
Well, I think she's trying to get her camera going.
Let me see here. We'll try her again. See if she's there. It would be nice because it's a new caller. You know, always like to. Oh well, she's not answering.
What kind of robot is that, Bree?
What is?
I haven't figured it out. Apparently, it draws something.
Well, wait a minute. Where are you? What kind of conference is this?
Well, this one is called One Ifra. It's the 13th one here in the Middle East, and it's just a 2-day event. So yesterday was the first day.
Yeah.
And the main speaker was the Minister for Artificial Intelligence.
Oh, I see.
For the country.
Yeah.
And then today they're starting off. They've got a guy here from Singapore who's going to talk about how the newspapers have joined with the radio and the TV to increase their digital presence. Blah blah blah. You know.
And this is what? And is this food free? By the way, is it free?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Alex, if I sent you pictures of the lunch, you just wouldn't believe it. It's unbelievable. I overdid it yesterday, so today I've got to be more careful. Because there was just too much.
Is it a free lunch?
Absolutely.
There are no free lunches.
Well, apparently there are free lunches.
I guess
in this case there is.
You register for the conference, and that's part of the conference.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have to pay for that either. So I know someone in another part of this world who is works for the organizers. So sometimes I luck out like that.
Is that Starbucks?
No.
Do they have Starbucks in Dubai?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
sure. What do you think? What do you think Dubai is? You think it's just a bunch of camels spitting at people? Come on.
Yeah. I
Dubai.
see a bunch of camels over there. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. Look, anybody who puts out a spread like that is not a third world country. Okay, Phil?
Dubai is not. Dubai is rich.
I know Dubai is a very nice country. It's just that it's 130 degrees there, and you know.
Oh, wait a minute. Overnight oat? What is overnight oat?
Those are oats that were there yesterday.
Oh, my wife makes those.
Overnight oats?
Yeah, you just put you don't even cook it. You put it in the refrigerator like with fruit and stuff, and it's really good.
And then it like sits there and bastes or something itself.
Yeah,
or does itself.
Yeah.
Food Channel.
Yeah, why not? You know, all of a sudden the numbers went jumping.
I do. I tweet about the food at the conference. That's like my little niche, you know. And sometimes I will quote from some of the speakers, but. Yeah. So it'll kick off at 9. I'll just be here for the first hour for the first speaker. Then I have to go back for a meeting, and then I'll be back.
Now, are these conferences deadly dull, or do you really enjoy them?
No, I enjoy them. Otherwise, I wouldn't come.
Yeah, okay.
I'm always learning something.
Are they put on in English or in Arabic?
Well, they're both. And then what they do is they have these little devices that you hook up to your ears to, if the speaker is in Arabic, then exactly. I can show you if the Wi-Fi will work.
The same kind of they have at the UN.
Oh, is that the room where you hold this? They hold the speeches and everything.
Yes, it's one of the rooms, and these are the. That's where we get
translation earphones.
The booth is in the back. And it's quite common at many of these conferences, to have the little translation booth in the back.
And I got to admit, Bree, those chairs look a lot more comfortable than the conferences that I go to.
So what do you do? Do you dial up your language or something on the earphones?
That's correct.
That's cool. That's very cool.
It's like the UN.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely cool. You need it because even though the speaker might be in English, sometimes the questions that come from the audience will be in
But the most important thing is probably really good air conditioning in there.
Yeah, today it's a little warm. Yesterday it was freezing, so I don't know if they, mentioned something to them. Or not.
Can you get
at my conferences? They make it so cold so you don't fall asleep, but I do anyway.
Well, there's the New York Times.
Good shot, Tony.
I hate those conferences. Hate them.
You hate them?
Like 3 times a year, I have to go to those with the big stage, and it's it's all industry crap.
There's the conference on the front page.
Oh, really? So it's that big it's that important a conference?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, usually in other countries, they will have the heads of state who will appear. When I was in Thailand, I met the Prime Minister of Thailand at the time.
Wow.
Because he was at I had to go out and buy a jacket because I didn't have a jacket. Which is easy to do in Thailand.
The New York Times that you showed us with that conference on it, I would stake my life that the New York Times headline in New York has nothing to do with this particular headline. That headline that they printed there.
Well, wait a minute. What's the headline?
News. Fake news.
I'll stake my life too.
Show us the New York Times again. Let's see what the headline is. Go over to the side. See what. Let's see. The world can learn to say Heimat.
Heimat.
What is that?
It's a German.
Okay,
That's
what's
a German
the other headline?
word for home.
Europeans conjure fix to keep Iran deal alive. This looks like the New York Times European edition.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. There. Look, international edition. It says right there.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake international news.
Now,
right.
is there
usually
about Trump? Flip a few pages.
No,
you got any Trump news?
No, I have to tell you, I was on a panel last week where we were talking about Trump year one, a media perspective, and one of the panelists was from Sky News Arabia, a Middle Eastern news outfit. Basically, he said, we just don't talk about Trump very much. he said if you do a scan, like their top 10 stories of each day, Trump would be around 8 or 9 or 10 if he made it. It's just he's just not as big a deal, for the international community. So you can see here, you don't see him on the front page of anything, but you see the local leaders are on the front, Wow. So that's the leader of Dubai right there.
Yeah.
And then that's the leader of Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Can you say irrelevant?
Well, to us it makes it.
Not for here.
To us it has no relevance. Over there it has a lot of relevance.
Yeah.
Do you remember Andy Kaufman used to sing a song called Abu Dhabi?
Trump is irrelevant.
Do you remember Andy Kaufman used to sing a song called Abu
was
Dhabi?
That the bongos or
Yeah, with the
drum?
bongos. Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The big news here is that there was a Bollywood actress.
Oh yes, she
who
died. She was a very big actress, and supposedly in that part of the world,
drowned.
Did she drown?
In the bathtub. She drowned in the bathtub.
You mean they're
I
not
don't think
talking
it was
about
this hotel.
Ryan Seacrest?
Irrelevant.
Seacrest is not on there.
Wow.
Seacrest out.
Seacrest gone, out, done.
Now, Bree, I figured out that the reason you show up
for you.
in the morning is they got the breakfast, and the reason that you leave
that's
and come
correct.
back at noon is because they have the lunch.
But yeah, well, how come there's nothing going on? Or it hasn't started yet?
It hasn't started yet.
Oh, okay. Because it's what time in Dubai right now?
It's got to be
8:56 a.m.
What time?
Four more minutes, and it's gonna 4 more minutes. It will get going.
And what time will that be there? 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
So
9 a.m.
we're 9 hours.
And, it'd be
we're
4 or
9
5.
hours off of you, is what we are. Yeah.
Well, in New York.
Yeah. But maybe next month he'll take us on a tour of Greece. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So what do you owe all of this travel to? This is unusual for you, isn't it, Bree?
Yeah. It depends. Some years it's more. Some years it's less. It depends on a lot of different factors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the women don't have to cover up there like in Saudi Arabia? I see women there walking around just with Oh, is he gone? Oh.
Not
No.
if they don't want to.
No.
No, not if they don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Clothing is
It's up
optional.
to them.
So you're at Weston.
The clothing optional.
Yeah, you're at the Weston?
What hotel are you at for that?
That's correct.
I think
The Weston.
The Weston. Yeah, we're losing him a little bit because he probably goes into certain areas where the.
Can you show us what that thing's writing?
Yeah, what does that?
Right now it's not writing anything because I don't think the people are here. Yesterday, it did an image of the former leader of the country.
Oh, really?
Excuse me. So,
yeah.
Oh. So I think they have to get here to do that.
I see.
There's a company over here.
What? Oh, I think he froze on us finally. I think the Wi-Fi is. There we go. Now you're okay. Now we're getting you. Well, anyway, listen. You hear that? There goes the theme song already. Oh, hi. How are you? Well, that's.
How are you?
Hi.
Oh, look, a guest.
Nice to have a woman on our show. Anyway,
Even knowing
you're back.
Media.
Yeah.
They do newspapers on demand.
Oh, really? Oh. Okay. Hey, listen, I got to go here. Thanks to, first of all, Phil Meyer. Thanks to Jeff Stein. Jeff's been a little quiet tonight.
That's true.
Ray Renati. That's fine. I just like seeing your face. Rob Alfano, glad to see you here. Always a pleasure. Kevin, always a pleasure with you. And, of course, Bree always takes us off to another country, which makes us feel real good.
Sorry, I came in late.
Yeah.
Maybe
Everybody.
I'll call up that in
You got 2 seconds after?
Yeah. Everybody, give a big round of waving, not applause, waving to the people out there, okay? That's our citizens panel for tonight. And they'll be here hopefully again tomorrow night, same time, on the Ramble, which is our little program, as you can as you notice. Hold on a second. I just got to take care of some stuff here. Listen, why don't you stick around, because Jack and Amy are next over most of this same Gabnet station, and then at midnight. Can I try this again? At 1 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be Connections. I'll see you tomorrow night, right after Damien's show. Damien Chaplin with The Exchange. He's on at 9:30 with the Ramble. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay?